Well, hello, and welcome to Stop. Let's Team Up. We are back. It is time for our regular Saturday episode, and the voters have spoken, and we are covering DC Comics Presents number 36, Superman and Starman IV, Prince Gavyen. Graven, I'm assuming. I'm guessing. It is what it is. Let's get some basic statistics, and then I'm going to tell you what I thought of this wonderful team-up. So this was DC Comics Presents number 36. As I said, was published August. Well, the cover date is August 1981, so that would have been July, June, May or June. May 7th, published on May 7th, 1981. I was in high school. I would have been in sophomore year of high school, so I'd have been about 16 years old and a snot-nosed brat. The name of the story is called Whatever Happened to Starman. Writer, Jim Starlin, Paul Levitz. Penciler, Jim Starlin. Inker, Jim Starlin. Colorist, Gene D'Angelo. Letters, Ben Oda. Editor, Julie Schwartz. It's a real basic plot. Let me kind of go through this as quickly as possible, and then we're going to talk about some of the background. First of all, Starman was created by Levitz and Steve Ditko and ran for about 10 or 11 issues in Adventure Comics. And then it transferred. Adventure Comics went through great changes. That's a whole nother episode, and we're not going to talk about that. But this is called Whatever Happened to Starman. And there was a backup in DC Comics Presents during this era where they would do Whatever Happened to and old characters that hadn't been seen in a while. And this character had been seen, it wasn't that long ago. But it looks like Levitz wanted to finish up the thing, and Mongul had been coming through. Lin Wein and Jim Starlin created Mongul in DC Comics Present 27, where Superman teams up with Martin Manhunter. And there was an ongoing, Mongul became the reason for the team-ups. And there are other Starlin team-ups. There's the one right after this is a Hawkgirl one. But basically, Starman was the prince. His sister is made empress when their father dies, but since there's only allowed to be one heir, he's chucked out an airlock, and a mystic called Montur saves him, gives him these wristbands, and he becomes the superhero Starman. But this is later on. The empress is killed, and Mura, Starman's girlfriend, is forced by Mongul to marry him, and he claims the throne. And what you find out in some of the backstory from Montour and Starman is the emperors of this huge kingdom had a secret doomsday weapon. If you mess with them, your planet would get blown up, and no one knew where it was and what that was. And that's what Mongul wants. He claims the throne, and he has this. Well, Starman gets his butt kicked a little bit by a big chunk of this issue is stunningly told. Is all this flashback. It is the first 8 pages. It's just this wonderful where Starman and the ghost of Montour, who's dead, have come together. You get this whole beautiful backstory, and it's just Jim Starlin, two people floating in space talking, but it's gorgeous. And then Montour flies home and finds his true love, Miria. I'm going to pronounce it Miria. And there's Mongols there, and they battle, and he's imprisoned by Mongul, and left. Mongul goes to take the throne, and later on, Superman shows up and turns off the device and destroys the robot guard because Mongols put Starman in a cube, and Superman says, "Hey, I'm looking for Mongul." That's when Starman explains the history of the Doomsday Weapon and how the kingdom works. And then they fly off and show up. And Superman just goes into the throne room and is like, Mongul's pissed. And Superman goes, "You don't need to think you got away from me, did you? My lady, why didn't you find a safe place? Go find a safe place to hide." And then it is just for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 6 pages of Superman getting his butt kicked. Mongul goes in to command all the people of the Empire, and they're saying, "We don't afraid of you anymore. You don't have the Doomsday Weapon." And he tries to use it, and nothing happens. And you find out that Starman had driven into the sun and destroyed it. So it's gone. And at the end, the Empire is apart, and Superman leaves. And eventually, he's the Emperor, and eventually he dies in Crisis. He's one of the Starmen and he dies in Crisis. But this is pure Jim Starlin space opera. It is beautiful. It's well written by Paul. It's mostly Starlin. I think some of it is Paul Levitt's plotting, but this is definitely a Jim Starlin comic. And this is after he had done all his epic Marvel stuff, and Captain Marvel. At this point, Captain Marvel, he had killed off the original Marvel. But this is what he's good at. This is one of those Jim Starlin comics. It's why he is one of the greats. It is. I hold him in such esteem, high regard, as because of what a creator he is. Basically, he shaped huge chunks of both Marvel and DC's cosmic universes. His character, Mongul, is become a prominent villain in DC mythos. He just had a big story arc in Action Comics recently. He's very important. Alan Moore and Dave Given use him in the Black Mercy story, which is a masterpiece. He shows up from time to time. He was in the Death of Superman and caused part of the destruction of Coast City, which turns Hal Jordan into Parallax. That character is this important. I'm a huge Starman fan, and I read the Levitt Ditko stuff, and I thought it was space opera. I liked that stuff. I liked Marvel. Marvel had a better cosmic stuff. I hadn't read a lot of DC cosmic stuff until then. I'm a huge Levitz fan, so I really enjoyed it. It was some great Steve Ditko art. It's a great costume design. Either the red and yellow or the blue and yellow. They're both perfect. Those are two action figures I keep eyeballing, and if one of you wants to, you can find them and send them to me. I'll accept them for my Starman shrine. But it's great. And a lot of stuff. And it's like his death, his energy when he dies in Crisis supposedly is what powers Will Payton. And that's all tied up. But he's popped back up in modern continuity as Payton. DC's changed continuity so much in since Crisis and since Robinson Starman. A lot of what I love about the Robinson Starman, I just get the intention is that it just never happened. It's a little subset, which I find disappointing. But that's just me being a fan of that. But this is one really worth reading. When I post this, I've pulled some really great panels. There's some individual panels, and when I post this on Twitter, you'll see what I mean. I think it's some of his best art. It's it's Starlin inking himself and writing his own story. It's got a lot of conversation, but it's kind of deep. And for me, it's kind of like he writes like Dune level space opera in the comic form in my mind. Because his Captain Marvel stuff with Thanos, this is a guy who created Thanos too. He's actually in Infinity. It's Infinity. No, it's in Endgame. He's in the self-help group with Cap and the Russo brothers. He plays one of the people in the self-help group. It's kind of cool. But I would check this out. Go through. There are about 5 or 6 issues. I posted them on a comment. I'll probably reshare them at the end or in another tweet to show you all the Jim Starlin and the Mongul DC Comics Presents are all worth reading. It's on the app. It's glorious. I wish I still had a big copy of this or a trade copy of this, and just so I could look at it a little bigger. It's quite beautiful. So check it out. Check out there's Adventure Comics. I will find the list and I will put that as a separate post also on Twitter because they're worth reading, I think. But it was fun. I'm glad you all voted for it. I'm surprised it took a few times. I think putting those two Brave and the Bolds was it wasn't a fair, but this time it ran away, and now the new selection is up, and it is. Hold on, I'm going to pull this up. The new DC Comics Present has been added. Is a great comic too, and I was kind of trying to pick things that are. Oh yeah. It's Superman, Green Lantern. No, that's not it. I don't remember what it is, but I'll post it again because I'm not going to go look and waste your time. But, folks, that's it for this week. Simple little team up. Jim Starlin, go check it out. Check out the Adventure Comics. I'll put that stuff all up on Twitter. It's been a heck of a week for me. It's a nice, relaxing Saturday. Just caught up on Stranger Things. I've got some comics to read. I've been sorting some comics. I just recorded a great episode for my Gallifrey's Most Wanted where we talk about a Doctor Who comic called Operation Volcano from Titan, written by the amazing Andrew Cartmel and drawn by Christopher Jones, featuring Sylvester McCoy's Doctor and Countermeasures team in Ace, and it was wonderful. So check that out. It's up on my that'll be up in a couple, not 2 weeks from today. On Gallifrey's Most Wanted. It's going to be a lot of fun. Check out Titan's Doctor Who comics. But I'm going to say adieu or goodbye or whatever. But do me a favor, y'all. Be smart, be safe, be kind, and read some comics. And I'm going to give you some Jim Starlin ones to read. So check that out. Be good.